Good morning. With all of the strange weather we've been having over the last few days, it reminded me of a Bible story that I wanted to tell you, particularly how we've had some really nice sunny day and then suddenly we had loads and loads of rain, and it reminded me of this really good story about a man called Noah. So this is Noah and this is Noah's wife. They were really good people and God loved them very, very much. But at their time, everyone around them was being really naughty, and that made God sad because it means that they weren't loving God properly and they were hurting each other. So God decided to do something about it. He told Mr. Noah to build an ark. So Mr. Noah got out his tools, his little hammer, and he banged away at his pieces of wood.
Baby Mama.
Yeah. And in the end, he built himself a big ark. Now this ark was so big, it filled the space of 1.5 football pitches. Can you imagine a boat that big? Really, really big boat that was the size of 2 football pitches.
It's big.
Yeah, she doesn't fit through there. And when Noah had built his boat, he called together 2 of every animal known on the planet. So into the ark went 2 giraffes, 1. Come and sit back. And put the animals in there. 1 giraffe, 2 giraffes into the ark. He put in 2 piggies, 1 piggy. Can you put in the other piggy? Put him in there. He called together 2 lions, Mr. Lion and Mrs. Lion. And into the ark they went. 2 elephants, 1, 2. Into the ark they went. 2 cows. Moo. Moo. Into the ark they went. 2 horses. 1, 2. Into the ark they went. Crocodiles. Snap, 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 snap. 1 into the ark. And snap, 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 snap. 2 into the ark. And finally he called Mr. and Mrs. Noah and their 3 sons and their sons' wives, and they all went into the ark, and then God closed the ark up. There they are, all safe on the boat. Now, everyone around Mr. Noah thought they were being really, really, really silly because they lived in a desert. There's no rain in the desert. Why on earth would you build a big boat in the desert? Put them in there then.
No.
In there. But Mr. and Mrs. Noah were on their boat for a week, and everyone was thinking they were probably pretty silly and they were laughing at them. But then it started to rain. It rained non-stop for 40 days and 40 nights. That's over a month. It's a really long time. So eventually the water got so deep that the boat lifted up and floated away. Now the water levels continued to rise all over the earth for 150 days. That's about half a year. That's a long time. And all this time, Mr. and Mrs. Noah and their sons and their wives were living on the ark with all of the animals. Now, after a little while, it stopped raining, so Mr. Noah sent out a raven, which is a bird, to see if it could find any dry land. But that raven never came back, which suggests that it didn't find any dry land. So he waited a bit, and then he sent out a dove. And the dove flew away from the ark, and it came back empty-handed, and Mr. Noah knew that there was still not any dry land. So he waited a little bit more, and then he sent it out again, and this time it came back carrying a leaf, a branch in its beak. So Mr. Noah knew that there must be some dry land there. So eventually the water started to go down, and it left the big boat on the top of a mountain. When the land had dried out enough, Mr. Noah and all of his sons and all of the animals got out of the boat back onto the dry land. And Mr. Noah said thank you to God for looking after them and keeping them safe in that big flood. And so, as a promise that God would never flood the earth again, no matter how naughty people got, he sent a big rainbow and put it in the sky. And so every time we see a rainbow now, we can remember that God's promise that he will never again flood the entire earth, which is a really good thing. So I hope you enjoyed my story. Sorry about the noises in the background. We will see you again soon. Bye.